Hey, so this isn't really a script or anything. I'm just bored and uh, saw some shit on Twitter. If you don't know, this is a allegation, as far as I can tell, um, towards someone saying that they were groomed by pyro. Um, so they basically post imgers, links and whatnot. I'll share all this, like the Twitter post thread, etc. Uh, in the description, as well as the Imgur link. I do gotta say, warn, sorry, that there's some NSFW posts. They did censor some of it, but not all of it. So I'm gonna go by the tweets at least. Um, and just read them out. Again, I'm not going by a script or anything. I do want to point out that these are allegations and there's no proof from either side. At least I haven't seen anything from Pyro. I don't know if he's really acknowledged it. I heard something about a monitor being punched, but I'd really... I don't think that's what it is. Otherwise, so far, basically, I'll read out the Twitter post. I don't really want to link or show it on screen or anything post editing because I don't want to accidentally put like NSFW stuff on it. Twit. I don't know what TW means. Grooming. Pyrocynical groomed me. I have screenshots to prove it. I've been thinking. I've been sitting thinking about this shit nonstop, being angry, confused, and sad that I've had to accept this since I was 15, but I've never said anything because I felt powerless. What he said ranged from drawn NSFW, sub porn, to fetishy YouTube videos, and he'd asked me to compile shit for him using tags that he liked on certain websites. At 15, I obviously did it because he's fucking pyrocynical. I was just happy to be talking to him, and was trying to continue that. I have Discord screenshots going back 4 years proving all of this, and I don't know if I should post them here, but I may. Either way, I'm done sitting here being quiet about it. Sorry, I have to check the chat here too. Um, when I know mad people went through the same shit. I don't know what that means exactly, but are extremely traumatized and scared of talking about it. Oh, that's what he meant. My bad. Let's see here. I'm going back to the original post so I can find his Imgur link. Let me see here. Here's the screenshots, y'all. Last one is cement proof that it's him. And I put his Discord ID in the text box below in the messages. By the way, an update on this specific post. Yes, he did provide the incorrect ID, but he did actually correct that later. And it was proven that yes, it is the same ID as like actual Pyrocynical, or at least his older account, and this was cross-referenced onto an older server that the official Pyrocynical Discord account was posted from. So I just want to make sure that was clear. There's still nothing concrete, but that is something very important to realize. Like, yes, these messages did happen, and I'm going to provide my little perspective on that eventually, just because I feel like it's good to really think on all sides. Also, there was a lot of tweets that they removed, a lot of their responses that they have removed. I did read a few of them, not all of them, so I'm not entirely sure about it. But either way, I feel like both on the defending side of Ivory Erasmus and the attacking side, both sides have a lot of negatives, and people aren't really thinking about a bigger picture about this, because it's not just about these two people and Pyro was grooming this person. It's just the way this stuff is perceived in general and the way that people treat it, both the victims and the groomers in general. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that Ivory is lying, but I'm also I have I feel like I have a good amount of reason to believe that there is very good reason for doubt when it comes to Pyro's side. And I understand that it might be a bit reach for some people. Reaching with some of my opinions, but I do want to try and give like an idea of what I'm trying to explain. So I'm gonna go right now. I'm going to go through the screenshots. I will not be posting them or putting them on the video itself, of course. But I'm letting you know that I'm now reading the Imgers. So this is, I'm literally going to read just literally what they say in the message itself. Lovebird. Ooh, no I didn't. If I did, I think I forgot, to be honest. Just saw it retweeted. Don't know what the context of that is, by the way. This is me talking. I don't know what the context of that is. There's nothing provided on that. Some nsfw, and then there's just a picture of Pyro's persona or whatever, his character being shown with like color and animation expressions. I don't know how to really explain it, but it's something nsfw. Ooh, that's who that artist was, and those stills look really nice, to be honest. Thanks, N-word, Pyro says. And I don't know what this is, but also got this if I didn't send already. Next picture. Oh wait. Oh, never mind. Okay. I thought zooming in would give more, but apparently not. Your Sona could just be gassing non-stop as he fucks mine like HHH. To be honest, I'd pick you up, hug you while rubbing you against my huge sweaty I'm sorry, moves, and then kiss your cheeks, telling you how much I loved you, and then kiss you on the lips and let out a hard, long belch into your mouth. They wrote over their message. Lovebird did, anyway. This is Lovebird is Ivory, by the way. I'm assuming there was just some private stuff that they don't want other people knowing, but, you know, whatever. I'd like to, if it isn't, like, stuff revealing personal shit, I feel like there's no reason to mark that off. You should really try and show as much as you can. Obviously, I wouldn't like dox yourself, but it would be very good to make sure that you show everything you can. It'd eat your cock up with my ass, to be honest. I don't know, fart, to be honest. I don't know, fart so long and hard on your lap you wouldn't be able to breathe. My ass and back would be dripping in sweat. Got the thick of my dragon, by the way. Some context, by the way. I thought these were shit posts, and I guess after doing a little bit more reading up on it, it's true. Pyro has definitely commissioned quite a bit of furry fetish stuff, but I'll explain why. While that's really weird, degenerate, and whatever, I'll explain why that doesn't really make him, you know, pedo or a groomer. Like, I'll get into it. Ooh, big boy, Lovebird. Drew over more of their messages. Again, you really shouldn't do that unless it's like you're trying to hide personal info. And in that context, you can just hide the info specifically while still actually revealing everything else surrounding it, because that, like it or not, this is something that's happening purely over text. As far as we know, there's nothing that happened in real life. There's nothing physical, and as far as the poster just said, there was like no nudes, no selfies, nothing. It was just trading pictures that are drawn, and they made sure to be very specific with that in saying that it was drawn nsfw. So I want to make sure everyone is fully aware of that. Anyway, back to it. My gut would just crush you. You'd hear all the moaning and growling from the animals I've eaten beforehand swarming around in my mess. I think this is Vor. I'm sorry. This is weird to read, but I gotta. Let's go to the. This is the second screenshot. I'm going on the third now. This one sound like a mental break from when I skimmed it, but I'm actually going to give it a second deep read just so I can see what's going on here. Just what Alex was saying to me today about Keem. It reminded me of all the RP stuff I used to do last year. There's so many fucking people I did with, it's unreal. I don't even remember who and how many. It's that bad. If any of them suddenly don't like my content or for whatever reason, they can just out me, and then everyone else will start coming forward. All it takes is one person. It's a chain reaction. I was contemplating deleting my Discord and making a new one, but I don't think that deletes all the messages. No, it doesn't. So it's still there. I didn't ever ask for nudes or anything like that. It was just furry shit. But yeah, it happened, and it's just a ticking time bomb. I'll add a comment to this later, because I do feel like that's a very important distinction, and that has been a very consistent defense, I want to add, for both, for him specifically. And it's consistent amongst other claims that have been brought against him. There's never really anything physical. It's just texting and maybe drawn nsfw or fetish stuff, but it's never anything physical, which is, like, you know, it's disgusting, but it's good that no one's being... no one's giving off child pornography or anything like that, basically. Okay. Every morning I wake up with anxiety and check my phone waiting for someone to message me saying, "Yo, where have you seen what Keem's tweeted?" It's going to happen one day and I feel fucking helpless. That's why I'm so quiet in calls and stuff. I'm just always fucking thinking about it all the time. It's take up such a large part of my life, it's unreal. Unless I'm in the best... Sorry, I was looking at the screen. Unless I'm in the best mood possible, I'm always thinking about it. Please don't share this message or anything. I haven't, and I can't tell anyone except you. That's the nice way to breach screenshots. That doesn't really prove anything. None of this really proves anything. You could argue that it's like saying, "Oh, he's grooming and whatnot," but I don't buy it. Like, I don't think, because he could easily just be doing this type of stuff with other adults too. That's possible. And I do want to make sure this is clear too. As of this post, or as of these messages, apparently he was 19 at the time, 18 at 19, so he was still pretty young, he's still pretty immature. I'm not gonna lie, he's in a predicament, he's in quite a big position for his age, so I wouldn't be surprised that he's not exactly of a straight mind at the current moment, especially with all that dramatic stuff, considering he revolved his channel around being a very, you know, drama-oriented sphere. He's going to get toxic people, and he's going to get people who will probably try to work drama against him, and he's afraid of that, and technically speaking, he's right, it could come from anyone he's talked to, period, for any reason. Does this excuse stuff? No. No, it doesn't. But I am trying to give the sympathy that he's a young kid. He doesn't know entirely what the right thing is, and he's not a healthy, straight mind. I don't think either of these people are in their right mind, and I'll explain that in a bit. And this is another reason I find it kind of redundant to bring up really old messages like this and use them as if they're still applicable today. Like, I understand the principle. It happened once, it can happen again. This guy has the potential to do it again because he did it once. Like, I understand that, but I also... Sorry, I was looking at the chat. I lost track of myself. Basically, I don't think he should be held accountable for stuff way back then. Especially when there's a good chance that maybe he clearly feels guilt over this stuff. He's scared of it. He doesn't... It's not something he feels he wants to do and consciously ruin people with this. I don't think anyone can really see that. I think people can see that he's perverted, and he's fucking perverted. He's a degenerate pervert, yes, but I don't think he's interested in pedophilia or grooming people. I think he's just a pervert. And he's immature. He's still transitioning from being like 17, a kid, into being an adult, which, believe it or not, that's an entire I'm sorry. That's an entirely different world. You don't really adjust to being an adult for quite a bit. You're forced to try and adjust, but it's not easy for many people. Especially in Pyro's position, where he's running this big YouTube channel, or sizable YouTube channel. He's very well known within his sphere, his community. And he has indirectly and directly invited people to basically put a target on his head. Generally, he's one of the more softcore drama channels that I've seen. But I do want to make a point that he's not, he still has targeted people, and he still has made some issues. He still has given people reasons to target him. I'm going to head to the next message here. This is just a fat pic. I don't want to really describe it. I think it's really weird vor. Lovebird. Ooh, the little sounds are so nice, to be honest. To be honest, I've kind of been thinking about my anthro hunter getting swallowed and or crushed by a thick character like your fox or something. Lol. I think that's a lol. I think it's supposed to be a long lol. That sounds really nice, to be honest. I know, right? It's so nice. Something like this with their personas. I don't even want to explain what that is. If you want to see it, just fucking. I don't really understand what this picture is. It's showing the video feminist asks if mansplaining is real. And something about punching their monitor. Let me see here. They punch their monitor so hard. Haha, bastard. I put that into my new video. Haha. Thanks for showing me Ghost Boy. Hell yeah, anytime. So I do want to make a few things clear. This is the last post on the Imgur. And they did show an ID. I want to make this clear. The ID in the Imgur post is incorrect, but he did find the correct ID for Pyrocynical's account. So if you're going to go out and say that's not the real Pyro, you know, blah blah blah, as much as I hate to say it, it is the real Pyro. It is definitely his account. The IDs match. I guess you could say a counter is like, oh, you can't really check because the group chat one is unique, and even if you get one from these servers, you can't really, you know, put them together, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, the ones that are, let me put it this way, the ID for the profile is universal in servers, but in group chats, it's different. It's unique. So I guess, yes, there's still room for, you know, suspension for thinking, maybe, maybe not, etc., etc. But I do want to say there is proof that the ID does link up with the old account on a official Discord server that the official account was on. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not going to really say much else on that. I'm just saying, yeah, that has been debunked. It is legitimate. The ID is anyway. It lines up. So how do I feel about this? What do I think about it? Holy shit, these fucking reaches. I'm just trying to get my levels, buddy. Fuck. So how do I feel about this? Well, first off, I do want to make several things clear. Lovebird, at the time of these pictures, was 15? 15 or 16. I think it was 15 though. And Niall, I don't think his age is like public, but people from like leaks and whatnot have guessed that he's around 18 to 19 around the time of these messages. The next, there is no proof that any physical pictures have been shown. Not through Pyro, not through Lovebird, not through anybody else. All that has been confirmed is yes, Pyro does commission fetish material and does indeed share furry NSFW as well as role-playing. This is confirmed. This is legitimate, even by the source itself. But I do want to make an important differentiation here. Whether you like it or not, it's kind of like sexuality when I'm talking about the furry stuff. It's kind of like when someone's gay, or when they're lesbian, or when they're bisexual. No one really cares about what your fetishes are, or what you're into, or who you're into. The only issue is if you start to like push it out there and force it onto people and whatnot. But being gay, or being bi, or being into scat even, fucking farting, or vor, whatever, it's all disgusting. It's fucking bleh. Like, what the hell, dude? But at the end of the day, he's not violating any crimes, and as far as these posts show, they are consensual. I really understand. I do understand that. They're saying, well, I was young, you know. They're Pyro, you know. I gotta make them happy. I gotta. I like talking to them. I love that it's like, holy shit, it's Pyro. I'm talking to him. He's talking to me. All that stuff, you know. He's taking interest in me. I understand that. But at the same time, Pyro is also very immature at this point too. He's sorry, I was looking at chat. He's just not old enough to make mature decisions like this, especially in a sexual environment. I don't think he's been properly educated and that kind of stuff. And I understand that these are DMs, but it's still sexual. But either way, these are they do give consent to each other. As far as I can tell, they are reciprocating it. I'm pretty sure even if they weren't comfortable, they wouldn't try to, like, I'm not trying to be rude, but they are absolutely giving them very healthy and strong responses to this. Not someone who's like, oh, I care about this person, it's cool that this popular guy's liking me and whatnot. But I feel like even at that point, you'd probably maybe be a little bit shakier. And I don't really know how to explain it. Maybe I'm just being dumb about this. But I've been exploited like this too when I was younger, and I didn't really go through this mindset that they're presenting, or this manner of speaking that they're presenting, which is why I personally have issue with it. I don't feel like that's legit. I think this is just someone who, heat of the moment, they were young, immature, so was Pyro. Oh wow, this guy that I really like, I'm a big fan of, I have interest in, he's showing interest in me, and he likes me, he wants to do stuff with me like that, that's cool. I don't think it's right to just take that and then 4 years later say like, oh, you know what, I regret that stuff, this is rape now. And I'm gonna go into that a little bit of pinch too. I don't think it should be called rape. This is not rape. This is text. I understand people shoot the shit. Oh, it's just text, why are you getting mad, blah blah blah. The fact of the matter is, it's their role-playing, it's sexual, there's clearly the intent to simulate it at the very least, but I do want to make this clear. It's shown that they have consent. This is not This you can't rape over text. This is all done purely digitally through social media. Apparently they use both Skype and Discord. This is not rape. This is... You could put an argument that it can be perceived as molestation or something. But I do want to also point out a very specific thing, too. And it is very suspicious and convenient that there was no proving of age. Generally, it's considered that, or it's etiquette and this kind of stuff, that if you're going to be being sexual with someone else, you should share your age. Otherwise, be assumed an adult. I think that's pretty common sense, pretty easy to grasp and understand. Maybe not to these people, but I do think that the fact that they do not show any evidence that Pyro was even aware of them being 15 at the time is very sketchy, and they need to post proof about that. That is one of the biggest issues that people have so far right now. They did not ever show proof that age was shared and explained, so that was fully understood. There was never a screenshot or recording, rather. I honestly prefer recording. A lot of people are preferring recording on multiple devices like phone and computer. That they show these DMs and they show evidence of Pyro being aware of this, being conscious of this, and so far there just isn't evidence of that. Because in the eyes of Pyro, they could have easily perceived this person as also being a mature adult. Well, mature, i.e. 18 and above. And if they failed to communicate that with him, then yeah, that's not really on Pyro. Pyro can't... he can't guess. You're not... You have to realize you're on an online platform where you don't need ID. You don't need identification. You can go with a custom profile picture that can be literally anything, and you can make your name literally anything. You can go by whatever you want, and you can change it on a dime. That is a very, very important distinction between real life and online. Because real life, yeah, this would be taken way more seriously because there is a chance of potential physical contact, but this, they were very clear about it only taking place digitally in DMs. There's no rape. There's no physical molestation. There isn't even pictures being exchanged between the two. There's no reason to be putting actual rape on the same pedestal as people with consent giving each other roleplay. There is no reason for that. I don't care what age you are. This should not be put on the same pedestal. That is a huge disservice and insult to those who've actually been, literally raped. I just want to put that out there to those who are saying that this is a proof of rape. I'm saying this specifically. No one is saying Ivory Rasmus said that Ivory Rasmus did not say it's rape, but a lot of people were saying it was. It's not. I want to make that very clear. This is not rape. And I feel like it's very unfair and adjustive power, whatever you want to say it, to say, oh, I regretted that thing a few years ago. I'm going to wait and just call it rape now. And I understand people like, oh, but you could just call the police, and why didn't you do that instead of waiting 4 years in silence? Well, police aren't going to do anything with this. There's nothing illegal happening in these DMs. Nothing. It's just disgusting stuff. Yes, it's degenerate stuff. Yes. But the police aren't going to do anything about this because there's just nothing illegal going on. At best, it's just some dude talking creepy to someone who wants them to talk creepy to them, or has allowed them to, at the very least. there's also the fact that I don't think you have to think in Ivory's perspective. It's very difficult to show that kind of stuff. It's even more difficult to show that you're consenting to it. And I don't think that they would understand at that age that the adults, they should understand that, he's young, and he's not mature enough to make proper decisions, where you could argue Pyro, he's not mature, yes, but he's still an adult, and therefore he has the lead, if that makes any sense. So just by merely being older, there is a skew of power towards Pyro, and that can intimidate, because at the end of the day, in the kid's mind, he'd be thinking, "Oh, they're just going to say I asked for it." Technically, yeah, they did, but they're also immature at the time, and they're not entirely sure of what's right and wrong. They still don't know all the shades of gray, if that makes any sense. They're still figuring things out. Things. Bleh. They're still figuring things out, and I don't think they should be blamed for not going to authorities about it. Because it's just, there's nothing here that authorities can use. And if anything, this could actually put Ivory in trouble. I'm pretty sure, realistically, the authorities will be understanding and like, okay, they're just panicked, they don't understand. Maybe we can just talk to them and figure this out, right? But there's also technically laws that are like, if you were to do this kind of thing, you can get fucked, because you're basically trying to slam someone and ruin someone's life. Defamation. It's not exactly defamation that this is happened. This is not defamation, um, because there is like evidence that he's been doing this stuff. This is legitimate. But what I am saying is, the police would see this as like a quote unquote uh, attack, I guess, and because of that, that's endangering Pyro and whatnot. But the point is, that's realistically not, that wouldn't have happened, but the kid would have perceived that as something that could have happened, and that's why they decided not to do it. That's what you need to grasp from that. I'm very sorry. Like I said, I'm not going by a script. I'm just going as I see things. So overall, how do I feel about this whole issue here? I feel like both sides just were not mature, and they participated in things that they really shouldn't have at the time. But I do want to make this clear: there's not really anything recent, as far as we know, of Pyro doing this type of thing, right? And if he is, what he's doing isn't illegal. Doing furry fetish stuff and roleplay is not illegal. If it was, 95% of Discord's community base would be shut down and sniped, like JFK did. Got. Sorry, I can't fucking English. Um, and there is no grooming here. There is none. This is not a groom. This is not him trying to coerce him into favors and whatnot, right? Uh, I feel like this is just a position where Pyro was like, oh, he's in this big ass position. He is into this roleplay stuff, and he has an avenue to get a lot of that, so he can get more enjoyment out of it, even though it scares the shit out of him at the same time. You can see he's having a mental break about that thing. In, I think it was the third picture on the Imgur link, and like, you read this and it's very clear neither of them are mature. Like, I think it's not far-fetched to say that they did something that they were not fully understanding of, and neither of them were fully experienced in it, and neither of them really understood that it was potentially wrong or immoral or bad to do, right? So I don't think anyone in this should be slammed. I think Ivory was immature. and they don't understand. It's not their fault that they didn't understand. It's okay for them to regret the decisions they made in the past. This is some sketchy stuff. This is some stuff where, like, you'd probably shake your head and go, ew, I can't believe I did that. This is horrible. But to say it's traumatizing, I disagree. I don't think this is something that would be traumatic. At the end of the day, these are DMs. And putting it on such a high pedestal like this is disingenuous to the true problems that people face regarding this kind of issue, where there's actual physical selfies and whatnot, right? Where people are actually being revealed and whatnot. This is different. No revealing images have been made. None. Period. And I don't think people should go by that kind of stuff. That's disingenuous. But in general, Pyro, I think he should be reprimanded. I don't think there should be anything serious taken against him. I think you can see in that same picture where he has a mental break that he feels guilty. He understands that what he's doing isn't completely right, but he can't help it. He's someone who needs help at best. I think that's the main takeaway from it, if you want to read into it a bit more. It's more like, they weren't smart, and they weren't experienced, they're not mature, and they just weren't really... They didn't know what to do. They felt like they were in a position where they have to indulge. They have to indulge because they want to make this person that they look up to care about them and like them and whatnot. I don't really think I have to add much more to that. I'm just saying, like, neither of them should really be punished. I think they should just both be reprimanded and told, like, hey, don't be doing this stuff unless you're mature unless you're able to be mature about it. And I think you should really take steps and precautions to make sure you can get educated on what you're doing and stuff to keep it safe. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I wasn't getting fucked up by this fucking gob. But generally, I just feel like neither of them should be in trouble for what goes on. Neither of them should. I think they just both were immature and they didn't fully understand. And that I think that's the great takeaway from it. I think they just need a learning experience. They don't need to be slammed or punished as a result of this. I think that's a bit extreme. So yeah, that'll be it. That's just my 2 cents.